not a fighter, but I'm doing it on cue. I've got to fit in with the crowd or I'm not cool. But even then, you're just another mastermind. If you listen to all of the voices, if you hear them, they'll drive you crazy. But I know you'll know the difference. Don't be the mastermind, 'cause in the end, it leaves us blind.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Big Esports Conference. My name is Alligator, and I have the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend. I would say the brains to my brawn or the brawn to my brain, but I don't have either. So, without further ado, Pink, how are you doing, my friend?
Dude, I'm so excited. It's my first time here on the BEC broadcast, and I'm super hyped. You know, Big Ten, always great to be around all these schools, and we're in the playoffs. We're in the semifinals, and this matchup between Michigan State and Ohio State going to be great.
It is going to be absolutely fantastic indeed. We have a juggernaut, an absolute behemoth of a team in MSU, and a challenger, a fair shot at maybe what I believe has been called behind the scenes the upset of the century in Ohio State University. And I mean, we all know what MSU and Michigan State has done, and if you don't, well, let's get you up to date. They have gone 7-0, completely undefeated during the regular season, the regular semester, whatever you want to call it, fall 2024. 7-0, perfect record, #1 seed, obviously going into the playoffs for this East Division. On the other hand, you've got Ohio State, #4 seed, 4-3 record. They have already played a game in these playoffs, so not quite the same story, right?
Yeah, I mean, Michigan State is just such a talented roster. They're top 26 in the entire country going into this. They're, again, undefeated in the regular season and in the East, which, I know you're a big West fan out here, but these teams out are so talented. I mean, you got Indiana, you got Purdue, and if we look at the bracket right here, Ohio State, big upset over Indiana. I know there's been some roster mix-up over there, but, that's still a very impressive win for them. So they got a little bit of hot streak going into this match, but will it be enough to beat this, I'd say, behemoth in Michigan State? I am personally not convinced, especially because, I mean, if we go over to the starters tonight, you're going to see a little bit of a few different names, and that is, you got the normal Michigan State roster. You got Knock, Morveau, and Otbaum, but sliding in here today, you got Bungo, Danwad, and Gaines. And I believe it's Gaines. That's the sub. It's not normally a person we see on this roster having to fill in for B-Boys, their star player. So it might be a bit of a harder challenge than maybe initially we had thought.
Yeah, I do believe it is actually Danwad that is subbing in for Desan, at least from their last matchup. Because, of course, all these teams, both in the East and in the West, have played each other, right? This the regular season is a round robin. Everyone plays everyone, 8 teams. You get 7 games. I do know over here in the East, I have seen a few more forfeits than in the West, but still, you can reasonably assume that any given team has played any other given team. In the case of these two squads, it is indeed an actual game that we got. It was a 3-0 in favor of Michigan State. So history is not in their favor. Like we said, it has not favored them in the past, but you never know, right? That's the magic of Rocket League. It is the playoffs. It is just one series. And speaking of series, here we go.
Yeah, right into this one. It's game 1. We're playing here a best of 5 in the semifinals in Morveau. We're going to try to start off hot here, off the ceiling, dropping it down, but not able to really get anything going. Able to collect and get back to the sidewall. I think just trying to make all these plays start right off and get a hot start for Michigan State Spartans. Able to at least not get in, but apply some early pressure here.
The early pressure, and they don't need to do anything spectacular, right? Their playstyle is based on fundamentals, and fundamentals it is. That's gonna get them their first goal. Knox scores, puts Michigan State right up ahead. The assist, beautiful from Otbaum, forces the double commit in the net, and that is going to be an early lead for Michigan State.
Yeah, I can already tell it's just going to be a game of unrelenting pressure from Michigan State. So Ohio State, they need to do their best to, hold that back line, not send to, not go in for that double commit, and be able to keep things going. Morveau looking to try to put an exclamation point on this game early. Nice double read for him. They're up 2-0.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about. They are just that fundamentally good, both in terms of the playstyle, but also in terms of their mechanics and their overall game knowledge, right? They are this kind of team that will beat you with passing plays, that will also out-mechanic you every day of the week. We've seen it already, and I have no doubt that we will see it again. But for now, we have Ohio State trying to get some goals back. This 2-0 cushion I like to talk about a lot. It's such a solid lead, right? Because you get scored on, which would be dejecting, but you're still in the lead. You're still fine. But that would put Ohio State that much closer to a potential comeback here in game number 1.
Yeah, but they got to get on the offensive side of the field in order to make that happen. I mean, it just looks like it's borderline impossible. Op bomb from Morveau just peppering this net. Going for a bump on that back while Bungo able to cope pretty well. But you got to look for a counter. You got to make some space and get something going. But this midfield control from Michigan State and so fantastic. Another passing play downfield. This one not going to result in a shot. Just touched slightly to the wayside, but that double, oh my, what a save. That was a crazy angle and it almost found its way through.
Yeah, it was a crazy angle. It was almost in, but not quite. And that is going to keep Michigan State at just 2 goals of advantage as time keeps ticking down. That is exactly a strategy that you want to follow, right? You go up to an early lead and then you just play solid, play fundamental like we said. No need to overcommit, no need to go crazy, no need to overstep your boundaries, if you will. You just play to hold the lead, and it can be dangerous maybe if you're holding a 1-goal lead. It can be maybe a bit dangerous if you're, I don't know, maybe playing a bit closer, but we can clearly see, right, that Michigan State are in control of this game number 1, so it's fine, I think, for them to play for this this 2-0 lead. It would be a fine result for them in this first game.
Yeah, it is still game 1. It is still kind of that feel-out game. You're trying to see what the other team can throw your way. And right now, it's not been very, I would say, inspiring from the Buckeyes. It's been a bit difficult for them to find any progress downfield. This is their best opportunity so far, but all it's been is just this fight of 50s in the corner. Maybe you'll find a shot somewhere, but no, it's going to be the opposite way. Yeah, they're just really, really struggling to get anything going. And when you're able to control possession as well as you can, a 2-0 lead is all you really need for Michigan State. But as I say that, okay, Gaines. Okay, flashing the mechanics a little bit. Just going to do it all himself. Carries this one on the air dribble, gets a flick it over one, and just the last touch gets over op bomb. So nice goal for them.
Yeah, and it almost didn't happen, right? When he puts it up in the air, and that air dribble just barely goes over his opponent. I believe it was Morveau on that long dominance. But once you get it past that first player, then the other two are in a more dire situation. I'd say they are conditioned to wait for your touch. And in that case, he fakes the flip reset. Other players would go for a different type of play. Unfortunately, it's all going to be for Nod, or it's all going to be for Knock, more like, because he's going to get once again the 2-goal lead with this first one. It's just so easy, right? When you get the goal line demo, just gotta walk it in. And I'd say anyone could do it, but I know I've missed some shots like that, so I'm not gonna say that anyone can do it. Only the good guys can do it, and I'm not one of those.
Yeah, open shots, the hardest ones to make half the time. I feel like I miss them in all of my games, and this one might be another one. Yeah, there it is. Talking about those goal line demos, it's too easy for him. This pressure, again, mounting over and over again, and they're just able to capitalize here off bomb, just poking this one past that near post. And yeah, 3-goal lead with only about like a minute and 20 left. It doesn't look like the Buckeyes really have a shot at this.
You look at the replay, and it was 0 Ohio State players and 3 Michigan State players around the net and around the ball. If it wasn't one, it was going to be another, or the different one. It could have been either 3 of them, and I think that is a key to success for this Michigan State Spartan squad. They are all extremely good at everything. They are just perfect almost on their coordination. If it's not more of it's knock, it's up bomb, stepping up to the plate, doing whatever is required for the team to win. There is no I'm the defender, there is no I'm the attacker, the striker, whatever. They are sort of a hive mind, if you will, and that is what gives them such perfect gameplay. With 30 seconds and some change to go, like you said, feels like no hope for the Buckeyes, despite them spending quite a lot of time here in the final beats of game one in the green half of Michigan State.
Yeah, but maybe they can get something just for extra credit here. Yeah, that'll be some good momentum heading into game two, finding a second goal here. So look, the offense, although it's been limited, the chances that they've gotten, they've converted on and shown that their physicality going the opposite way. And traditionally, when I'm seeing a team that's like a little bit weaker mechanically, not as fast, you got to get physical, and Ohio State flexing their muscles a little bit and able to do that.
And I would have said maybe if the kickoff went the way of Ohio State, there could have been a chance, but Obama is going to put a swift end to it. So he's going to take it all the way up the field. The rotation is completely broken. No defenders anywhere to be seen for the Buckeyes, and that is going to be all she wrote for game one. Like you said, maybe some consolation prize, some goals to take for the road. I always say those are very good, especially for your confidence, especially if you haven't scored at all in the entire game. Now that they have gotten to, it's not as important, but still good to know I can spend long stretches of time in that green half. That end of game number one was a good showing from the Buckeyes despite the overall result.
Yeah, but it was tough. I mean, they were really fighting on the back foot almost all the way through, and it wasn't hard to see why. I mean, we just look at the stats here. They're being outshot. I believe that is 13-5, and that will not work out long term. That's just going to be really impossible. And again, the mechanics of Michigan State are fantastic, but you also got to talk about the physicality here. 2 players with 3 demos, and that makes your life that much harder, because shelling up inside a net, that's not an option, because you have to be constantly moving and aware that these players are going straight for you and trying to take you off the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, out of the 5 goals that we saw, at least 2 were clearly derived from demos. And I believe that last one, that last kickoff, maybe had a demo involved as well. So you could probably say maybe there was some goal contribution there. I can't quite remember about the remaining 2 goals, but still definitely a big part of Michigan State's plan. Now going into game number 2, the question is, do the Buckeyes have a response, or is this going to be another 3-0 just like we saw during the regular season? Going off of game 1, it is not looking good. It's not a good prospect, but the good thing about Rocket League is that anything can happen in a very short span of time. So right into game number 2 we go.
Yeah, let's see if Ohio State can start off on the right foot here, or if Michigan State can able to take another early lead and keep it going. That 50 in the midfield will allow a shot to maybe come through. No, it's just on the challenge. This one's going to go fly in front of net, and you know who's there. I believe it was Morva, but just hair's length away, just not enough boost in the tank to make it happen. Dan Watt going to throw this one towards that back wall, but Mettenkind with another clear. This one popped up high. Not a single Buckeye in the area. Back on the attack goes Michigan State.
And you could see Op-Bomb on what I believe was probably no boost or barely any boost at all, still chasing the demo, and now he is going to get the goal himself. And Michigan State, they are relentless. I mean, chasing down a player that is just going back for a corner boost on the defense, that is borderline psycho mentality, but that is what separates good players from great players. Great players are often, and you see it in professional sports too, right? A lot of times they say, the most psychotic, the most strong-headed players are the best of the best, the cream of the crop, and Michigan State are displaying that exact behavior. Op-Bomb leading the way, but we have seen some good efforts, some good shots from Ohio State, same way we saw in game 1, but with a much smaller lead this time for Michigan State. The Spartans have to be careful, because the Buckeyes, they could pounce at any given moment and take them by surprise.
That redirect was an interesting attempt. It would have been a really difficult shot to pull off. But again, yeah, they're trying to make these plays downfield, pull off those highlight reel shots, and that's all because that's only what they've been given so far. It's been really, really tough for them to make really any progress anywhere on the field. So might as well just go for it. Gains here to try to find this pinch off the wall. Knock reads it so well, and yeah, again, we've kind of settled into the more normal side of things where. We're just going to go back and forth in this midfield, go challenge for challenge, and just look for, any microcosm of an opening for that half opportunity.
And there it is, right on cue. It is going to be Knock once again. I believe the leading scorer overall for Michigan State in this series. Off the ceiling gains. Did not expect that bounce to be caught at the bottom of the field. And Knock, with just over 3 minutes remaining on the timer, is going to gain the advantage for Michigan State. Like we said, that 2-0 lead, that 2-0 cushion, that can be so important, and that is going to allow them to stay in front. Even if the Buckeyes scored, which is exactly what happened in the previous game, and it is exactly what is going to happen now. Once again, right on cue, gains to cut it down to 1.
They got to take the script away from us because we're just teeing it up too easily. Every single time we mention a goal-scoring opportunity, it just seems to appear. So Ohio State able to get back within 1 here. Let's see if they can, kind of actually get back to a tied game, or if Michigan State will do what they did last time and just take their lead firmly. It looks like it will be an opportunity, a shot towards this back wall. It's too high, it's floating. Never mind. I think it was a fake and just floats right in. Op-bomb, I don't think expecting that.
Donwad just... He cannot read Op-bomb just being there, getting the lightest of touches to redirect it into the top left corner of the Ohio State goal. And you were talking, they got to take the script away from us. And a lot of times casters, they talk about casters' curse, but what about casters' blessing, casters' clairvoyance? I mean, we can see, I wish we could see the future, honestly. I'd love to tell you who's going to win the championship, if it's going to be your favorite team, my favorite team, or not, but unfortunately, we don't have that script, or do we? Well, for the moment, you're going to have to find out in real time just with us as Michigan State get another one. And if it was Knock before taking the lead, now it is Op-bomb with his 3rd goal of the game, the hat trick in game number 2 for the leading man in Michigan State. Spartan gear in the green is going to be 3-goal lead, 4-1 with 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, they're really, really firing on all cylinders now. And what's so threatening about this Michigan State squad is all 3 players have pop-off potential. And speaking of that, here comes Knock with the flip reset. It's saved onto the crossbar. Knock is a player I want to highlight a little bit because last time I got to cast him on stream, he had a triple flip reset on land in the grand finals against Indiana. So, maybe I'm a little bit of a blessing. We'll see. We'll find out. But right now, this whole Michigan State squad playing at their peak. And it's, again, we've talked about it right now. It's so hard for Ohio State to really do anything when shots are just flying toward your net just like these over and over again.
Yeah, and when that pressure... I mean, look at that. They were going for an aerial backwards pass into their own half. I cannot say the word on stream that I want to say, but that takes moxie. That takes bravery to do that. And, maybe it takes a little bit less bravery when you're up 4-1 and 2-0 in the series and you're clearly the better team, but still... I mean, it is once again that psychotic state of mind where it's not just winning, it is annihilating your opponent. It is keeping going and never letting the foot off of the throttle. And that is exactly what has given Michigan State such a dominant semester. That is what has given them such a dominant series. And if things keep going this way, it could very well just be a dominant championship all in all. Because right now, and I do say this not having watched much of the Eastern Division, but they look almost unbeatable. They're going to get one further road. Op-bomb, of course, it is Op-bomb once again on the assist from Knock. This is just art in motion.
It is. They're being... the passes are precise and they're perfect, but they're really just getting to do whatever they want all over the field. They're going for some crazy shots. They're going for a few of those Twitter clips, but all while still absolutely dominating possession. dominating this offensive side of the field. And what else could you ask for? And yeah, you talked about it right now. If Michigan State is playing like this come next week, come into the grand finals against either Maryland or Purdue, I don't know if there's really much that either of those two teams can do to stop them. Maryland and Purdue both have fantastic results, both in the VEC and in other leagues this season. But this Michigan State squad cannot be talked about enough. They've just been fantastic. And, they take this game too pretty easy for them. Nice 5-1 victory, pretty comfortable. And it looks like, we're probably going to get the brooms out of the closet in just, 5 more minutes, because it doesn't look like they're planning on stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, it is just the demolition bomb. I mean, our bomb leading the way, 4 goals, 1 assist. That is 100% goal participation, by the way. 2 saves, 5 shots, 2 demos. He does not have a single donut in any of the categories that we track. That is, I don't want to call it a perfect performance, because we have seen better and we will see better again, but it is as close to perfection as it gets, right? It is not just a good performance, right? Because you can have no donuts with 1 goal, 1 assist, 1 save, 1 shot, and 1 demo.
Yeah, right.
But where's the fun in that, right? You get 4 goals, 2 demos, 2 saves, 100% goal participation. That is just... Yeah, we will see better performances, but not for a long time, is what I want to say. Because players like these, they only come once in a while, and Abom clearly, I don't want to say a generational talent, but clearly giving us a show as if he were one.
Well, Michigan State is on fire right now, but it seems like so is their facility. The fire alarms just went off, I'm hearing, so we're going to have to take a bit of a tech pause. We can fill for a little bit. I don't know how long that's going to take to get resolved. I don't know. But, we could see maybe if we have any updates elsewhere. I'm not sure if Purdue versus Maryland has completed yet. I think they're probably still in the thick of that. I can maybe use my brain to see what they're doing right now. Maybe I can pull up I'm gonna do the nerdy
second
thing.
tab.
I'm gonna pull up ball chasing and check in Shannon's ball chasing. I know they're winning right now. 1-0 in their private. Yeah, look, and whole facility just starting to go off with alarms. That's pretty distracting. So understandable. I want to take a pause here.
At the end of the day, safety comes first, and we will go to a pause ourselves. Don't go anywhere, though, because we'll be right back with some more great Rocket League action. Game 3 of this BEC East semifinal for fall 2024. We'll be right back.
possible. Nah, yeah. Thinking what I'm thinking. Oh, I am ready for you. I am ready for you. I'm gonna give it everything. Anything's possible. Nah, yeah. Thinking what I'm thinking. I am ready for you. I am ready for you. I'm gonna give it everything.
defensive rotation that was kind of bad, I think, but it ends up working out.
Yeah, now we see here, Waiters gets that kickoff. It ends up going to Duck, however. Duck has been, fairly solid on the 50s during this series, but manages to get it past him there. Turtle tries to push it into a great position for a shot. Hexy beats one. Turtle pops it over a second, but it's not fast enough to get past Enchanted, who manages to pop that out to the midfield. Tries to retake control of the ball, but does not manage to get it any further than he already did. Now we see triple commit there from Purdue. All of them just kind of trying to keep that ball out of their net, trying as hard as they can. If they win this game, they will end up in the finals. But if UMD can score one more goal, they will take this to overtime. Waiters going up high, trying to put that shot on target, beats the man, but does not put it in the net. 7 seconds left on the clock. Hexy has boost, has ball, but does not have time.
Final attempt there, sending straight into the corner. Can Turtle keep this up? He can. But UMD doesn't have any boost to work with. It's just going to go back to Purdue, and the game ends.
Hello, and welcome back. We're finally here after a long tech pause. We saw Purdue beat Maryland to the delight of my fellow caster, Pink. How are you doing? How's that happiness coming along?
Look, it feels great. We lost a very tight regular season match to them in Game 5 fashion earlier this year, so feels good to beat them when it matters in playoffs and get to that grand finals. But we got to see who makes it into the other side of that from the bracket. So let's get into Game 5 here between Michigan State and Ohio State. We're just about ready to go. I think everybody's back from the quick fire alarm that went off, and yeah, we should be getting right into it.
All players are safe, seemingly, so that's the best news that we could get. But, if we get past the small, matter of player safety, we've got Rocket League to play. We've got action to come. Game 3, which could potentially be the last one of this semifinal. If the trend continues, it will definitely be so. Because through 2 games, I believe the series total is something like 10-4 in favor of Michigan State. 5-2 in the first game. 5-3 in the first game. 5-1 in the second game, or 5-2 in the first game. 5-1 in the second game. 10 goals at least for Michigan. No more than 4 for Ohio State, but it doesn't really matter. If they win 3 games 1-0, they will advance to the final, and that's all that matters. And that's the beauty of a best of 5, of a best of 7, if you will, series. All of this is not the case this time. Anything can happen, but Michigan State, they want to punch their ticket to the finals against Purdue. They know their opponent, or at least we know their opponent. Maybe the players themselves don't. And we have 5 more minutes of action to determine whether it will end here or whether Ohio State Buckeyes can push it to a Game 4 and maybe start a potential sweep.
Yeah, it's a long road back here for Ohio State, but you got to take it one game at a time. You can't afford to make any mistakes, especially not early, which has been kind of the silent killer for them throughout this series. They almost get that first goal for them, and that would be their first lead in the series if they get that. So I think that's something they're definitely going to be looking for here. One thing you got to talk about, though, is, is this long timeout going to ice out Michigan State? I mean, realistically, they probably had to evacuate the building. It's pretty chilly out in Michigan, if I had to guess. So maybe hands not warmed up anymore. We'll see, though. I have a feeling that the mechanics and speed not going to go anywhere, but maybe the mental aspect will change things up a bit.
We've seen them already, and we'll see them again. Morview is going to be the one to get this first goal, the assist this time from a bump on the individual play, chasing the bump on Gaines. And I was saying, we already saw a demo play, didn't crystallize into a goal. Now we see the bump play with a bit more speed. It could have easily been another demo. We know Michigan State, the Spartans, love those kind of plays. And oh my goodness, that must have flicked out of nowhere, but from the dominance completely broke my train of thought. I did not think that was possible, but I guess anything is possible when you have a dominance that long, and when you're Morview, of course, everything is going to be possible. I was gonna say that I am always the biggest proponent of a physical game, the bumps, the demos, but when you're playing like this, you can really do anything. You're probably still going to win if you're Michigan State.
Yeah, Morvo just demonstrating that speed there, beating that player in that midfield, getting a free shot towards net. Nobody back for the Buckeyes, so an open look, and this might be open for Gaines. It's going to be a tight angle shot. No touch comes through. Bungo demoed, but it won't matter. Gaines rotates back through, finds that top corner, so back within one. We've seen this every game so far, a 2-1 scoreline, but we haven't seen a tie game off of it. Maybe this can be the shift in the tides. I don't know. Let's see how this kickoff goes.
It could be, but for the Buckeyes, it has to feel at least a little bit like deja vu, because like you said, we've seen this, we've been here. The question is, will it be the exact same result? It has always been 5 goals for Michigan State at the end of a game in this series. Game 1 with 5 goals, game 2 with another 5, absolutely destroying the differential overall in the series. But this is not the regular season anymore, like we said before we started. Differential could not matter less here. You win your games, that is a way you're going to get through to the finals. And for now, Ohio State finally are going to get the tie score 2-2, courtesy of the super sub Don Wad, getting that 2-2 scoreline for Ohio State Buckeyes. This is a game.
Yeah, there we go. We're finally into it. We're finally back fighting. And Knock just caught out of position there, allows Dan Watt to just go over everybody and get that shot on a relatively undefended net. And those are mistakes you cannot be letting happen, especially if you want to close this out in 3. So, back tied game. It's about the halfway point. This one's bouncing in front of the net, but Bungo able to come through and poke it away at the last second. This long clear will allow the players from Ohio State to maybe grab some boost and maybe actually find a shot. Danwad trying to bully his way through, just unable to do so at this point.
And Ohio State, I don't want to say they're doing anything differently than what we've seen before. It's just, it feels like it was a matter of time before their offense started clicking. Maybe, I don't want to say that Michigan State's defense has fallen off. Maybe, I really can't tell what case it is, because we had seen it in the previous games, right? We had seen Ohio State play up there and spending long amounts of time in the green, have and get good looks. It was only a matter of time before the goals started falling in. But if their defense falls apart, they're not going to have anything to write home about. Michigan State, though, not converting on their opportunities, and maybe it is actually Michigan State falling off, because I do believe that maybe they should have converted, or they would have converted some of those in the previous games, and that is actually opening up the lanes for Ohio State. They're not quite getting that lead, but they are very close. You can feel it in the air. The problem is, if they're not able to attain it, Michigan State are going to punish them. They're going to punish them hard, and with only 1 minute and change remaining, it will be a devastating blow to the Ohio State Buckeyes, if it ever comes, because again, it's opportunity after opportunity after opportunity.
This crossbar on both sides of the field is just being that fourth defender right now, but this one gets buried. Ohio State finally finding a lead, and just in the nick of time, Gaines is rocketing this one over to, finds that far post, and there it is, the first lead in the series for Ohio State. Again, exactly when they need it.
Wow, this is, like you said, exactly
Oh.
when they needed it, and now the crucial stop on the defense with less than a minute to go. Michigan State now finally experiencing maybe a little bit of that danger, that trepidation of maybe they are going to lose a game. This did not happen in the regular season with a regular rostered player. Why is it happening with a sub Danwood suddenly bringing the magic for Ohio State, who just need to hold on for 30 seconds or they can get another one of their own, a 2-goal lead, which certainly secure game 3 for them right here. And Danwood, of course it is Danwood, the super sub, is going to get that lead, and that is just a magical storyline, even if it's just for one game. But the Ohio State Buckeyes looking to write a page of their own.
Look, that they're in it now. They've shown that the offense can be here and come to play. They have had the majority of the pressure in Michigan State, been missing opportunities. Shots that they've been converting kind of all throughout this series. So, I mean, I don't know. You can't be letting these shots go by the wayside if you're Michigan State, and you're seeing the exact result of that. That's their first game loss here against Ohio State all season.
We have a game in our hands, boy. Look at that scoreboard. Looks absolutely fantastic. Gaines with the MVP. Danwood not far behind. Bungo also holding down the fort. You can see all three players doing their job. On the other side, it's not like Michigan State did not have opportunities, right? You see Morvo with 5 shots, Opbomb with 3 of his own. Knock maybe playing a bit more defensively with those 3 saves. But it is mostly what we're talking about, right? The shots were just not falling for Michigan State. They were missing the plays that maybe they could have gotten before. No demo advantages, no air dribbles or flip resets or double taps going in. You start to question, are they crumbling down or is this just a one-off? Are the Buckeyes going to be able to bring it back into game 4, into game 5, and potentially a reverse sweep? I think Michigan State still have a very clear advantage, but maybe smaller than before.
Yeah, look, I think I'm going to chalk it up to they have to warm up again. Obviously, the tech pause going to kind of change things for them. They're going to lose that momentum. And I maybe just the mental reset now that you dropped that game. You can figure out that, hey, we need to lock in. We need to end this right now. We can't let this go to a game 5. So let's see if they can wrap it up here in game 4, or if Ohio State can bring it to their own match point and bring us to the death of it to game 5.
And everything goes out the window. The standings, the predictions, everything goes out the window in a game 5. The proverbial Champions Field is a stage where legends are made. I guess if you play every single game physically in Champions Field, it does not feel exactly the same, but still. Champions Field is more than just an arena. It is a state of mind. It is a situation that every player dreams of finding themselves in. And for these players, having the chance to advance to the grand final for their division, it is the opportunity of a lifetime here in the BEC. And Ohio State, they do not want to waste this opportunity. They want to get their first opening goal of the entire series, and they are seemingly primed to do so. Already a couple opportunities and still putting pressure on this Spartan net, but the green defense, the green wall, wrong esport though, is holding on strong. But for how long is that going to happen? The passing play dropped down, saved by Up Bomb, and now the counterattack opportunity for Michigan State is just going to fall in off the ceiling, but no, saved once again. This time it is Gaines for Ohio State.
Yeah, Gaines is finding this pass out to Danwood, and I think Ohio State smells blood in the water. They've had a lot of opportunities early here, and I think it's just going to be a matter of time before one finally finds its way into the net. It's especially because they've been controlling the boost throughout so far in this game 4. But finally, maybe finding some footing is Michigan State. They're able to find a bit of offensive pressure, a little bit of time on the red half. That double commit, though, to throw that all out the window as looks like Morveau is just kind of has to dive back. Shot from Gaines, pushed to the side, but still floating on this Michigan State back wall.
And for a second right there, it seemed like we were playing the most beautiful game of ping pong Rocket League or volleyball Rocket League, whatever you want to call it, just throwing it from one side to the other of the field with the most beautiful shots and passing plays imaginable. Now we've settled into a bit more of our usual irregular pace, but still, for a second right there, like you said, seemingly any of these two teams could have fallen in with any random shot. We've gone half a game without a singular goal. We could go into overtime tied at 0 apiece if this keeps going on, and I would not be surprised at all because the Buckeyes, they have seemingly found a new life. But the thing is, the Spartans, they are still the Spartans. They are still the #1 seed, and they still went 7-0 during the regular season. You can never, ever ignore that.
No, yeah, I mean, they're a very, very talented roster. They showed it in the first 2 games, but for whatever reason, whether it's Ohio State finally figured out their game plan or if Michigan State have just kind of lost their focus, it looks like Ohio State's just been kind of improving, and Michigan State's gotten a little bit worse. Still, though, I think we could see the quality from either side shine through and bring it home at any moment. This one, dangerous in front of the net. Pinch goes all the way to the opposite corner. And we're just, again, back in this back and forth. No one really able to take any physical control, and that's why we see this 0-0 scoreline.
Yeah, and the more I watch the Michigan State players closely, the more I feel like there's some sort of breakdown in communication because we're seeing so many more double commits and plays that should not be happening with proper communication from that green side. And another thing that I've been noticing is maybe they are starting to become too mechanical, because there is such a thing as too mechanical in Rocket League, right? When you're just trying to be overly reliant on those air dribbles, on those air rolls, on those flip resets, when they're not really necessary, it becomes more of a detriment than an advantage to your game. And I feel like Michigan State, maybe they are starting to fall into that trap, but finally they managed to get the goal through. And you can probably ignore everything that I just said because it just goes in. It just goes in. That's what Michigan State do.
Yeah, Morveau just rotating through, cutting off the defender for Ohio State. I don't think it was expected at all, but I mean, we highlighted it time and time again. The speed from this Michigan State roster is unmatched right now, and again, just the unexpectedness of that rotation and a bunch of physicality from Michigan State might be the thing that takes it home. This one just kicks out. I thought it would have been another opportunity here, but it looks like it'll be okay for now. Gaines trying to take control, slow things down, take a bit of possession, and it looks like it may work out. Dan Watt off the ceiling kicks it across, but nobody in a red car able to do anything with it. So, final.
And as the final seconds tick down, it seems like Ohio State, are they going to be able to get it done? A last-ditch attempt at a passing play, and there was a shot on target, but stopped by the Michigan State defender. Oh, so very close, but just unable to get it done at the end. First couple of games, the bad rotations punished Ohio State very early on in the game. It was much later on in game 4, but still, the rotational mistakes are going to get punished, especially by good teams. And Michigan State, they're not good. They're great.
Yes, yeah, they're a fantastic roster, and I think they demonstrated that pretty well. Yes, Ohio State found their way back into the series pretty late into it, but it was just not enough. It would have needed perfection, and they just didn't have it in them. So, good season to them. I think they're going to be pretty okay with that 4th third, fourth placement. I mean, I would be pretty proud of it. I don't think going into the season I expected them in this position. I would have had someone like IU and like Maryland, who didn't end up here, in that spot. But we got to talk about it. Michigan State moving on to the grand finals. They'll be playing Purdue in about a week. And I mean, that's going to be fantastic. But what else is going to be fantastic is getting to highlight your home school here. We got Minnesota versus Nebraska at 10 p.m. on this same channel in just a bit. I mean, we could talk about more about that matchup in an hour, but I mean, I'm sure you're hyped for that.
Oh, I am absolutely delighted. Take a final look at this Eastern Division bracket. Actually, there we go. We have it back. There we go. Take a good look at it because, like we said, Michigan State against Purdue, number 1 against a number 3 seed coming into these playoffs to play for it all. But also a third place match between Ohio State and Maryland, the number 4 and the number 2 seed, respectively. There is still a podium place to play for, and we didn't get to see much of Maryland today. They did play Purdue relatively close. I believe it was in game 4. Ohio State, they also played Michigan State very, very close. So it could probably be a toss-up between those two squads. But like you said, that is going to happen in a week's time. We will most definitely bring you a stream for that. Moving on over to the West, we will have it in just over an hour. Still here in the BEC channel. Like I said, Minnesota versus Nebraska. My Golden Gophers, I am going to be so proud to watch them play. It is going to be Minnesota, number 2 seed, against Nebraska, number 3 seed, and the other semifinal is going to be UCLA, number 1 seed, against Oregon Esports. The Oregon Ducks, a number 5 seed, defeated Wisconsin in the play-in. Wisconsin was the number 4 seed during the regular semester. UCLA has looked like a juggernaut. When I was saying behind the scenes, Minnesota Golden Gophers, I have been keeping very close tabs on them, and they have played all the teams in the West very close, especially those top dogs, and I do believe they can go all the way. But, Pink, we will have to see if they can get past Nebraska before they get to the finals, right?
Yeah, and unfortunately, Purdue has experienced what Nebraska can do in a playoff scenario, and it isn't pretty. They managed to turn up and really play to the top of their ability. So it'll be close, it'll be exciting, and it'll be in about an hour, 10 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you guys tune in for that. But I think for now, we're going to wrap it up here. It was fantastic. And again, I think it's going to be us two again on the cast in that hour. So, we'll get more of us here. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you in just a couple of minutes, hour? Yeah, whatever. Bye.